Hello, my dears, and welcome to my channel. As always, I am very happy and grateful that you chose to spend your time with me and supporting my channel. Really easy. Like the video, leave a comment, subscribe, and click on the notification bell of when you'd like to be notified of when I put out another video. And I hope that you're all doing well. But if not, I do hope things will get better for you soon. But if you want to forget about things for just a little while, join me in meeting the Frazetta Fantasy Tarot. And this is a Kickstarter deck that I obtained recently. And it was created by Pier, Luigi, Gaspa, and Laura Gaspa. And it was published by Lo Scarabeo. And it was released this year. And this is the kit edition. The standard edition is smaller, and it's a flip top with a booklet inside. And this is a large, very large. There's also a limited edition that you could have gotten through Kickstarter. But this box is 7.60 height and across. It's 5 inches, and the width is 225. And the title is on all of the sides, which I'm really happy about, which means I can stack these any way that I want. Unfortunately, it's a little dinged up. I dropped it. I'm a little upset at myself, but on the back, it says, "Art should be like a punch in the gut, not a gentle tap on the shoulder." And this basically is a deck that is basically Frank Frazzetta's artwork, which is awesome. I love his art. And when you open it up, on the top of it, you have this nice picture of him. And on the inside, you have this lovely guidebook. I love guidebooks. I'm such a guidebook girly. Yes, this thing is big, and we'll go through it. It's a nice glossy cover on it, and it's 160 pages. And on the inside, it has this nice, I want to say velvety kind of texture, and it does come with a ribbon. And even though it does have the ribbon, you still have to kind of pour the stuff out. But the insert is not removable at all. And unfortunately, I have some oil on my hands, and yeah, it will collect fingerprints, as you can see. But at least it's wipeable. I can wipe them off. And the cards are a little slippery. They're very glossy. They're very, very glossy. And they have this silver edging on it. And yeah, I'm really happy with how this deck turned out. Okay, so reversals will not be revealed. And the cardstock is a 320 GSM gloss UV varnish. Okay, so in my tarot videos, I do a side-by-side comparison. Yeah, these are really slippery. just letting you know, they're very slippery. Okay, and the deck that I'm doing the comparison is the Radiant Rider-Waite Tarot, and it's produced by US Game Systems. And you can check the US Game Systems website to see if they carry it. I know that Amazon does, because Amazon carries everything, apparently. And the cards are basically the same size as your tarot. All right. And there are 2 extra cards, so there's 80 cards in this deck. With Kickstarter, if you're familiar with it, they were able to reach their stretch goals. So they had 2 extra, I guess, Major Arcana cards, and I should just show you guys those first. So we have card 22, which is fantasy. and then 23, which is Fury. Okay, so I'll just leave those. Okay. All right, so go ahead and show you the side by side. And there is Frank again. And like I said, this is a deck with his illustrations. And yes, there is nudity. If you are familiar with his artwork, there's nudity. And I really think that they chose a lot of illustrations that do represent the cards. This one, I have never seen this one. There's some illustrations I have never seen before, but this is the Selma Hayek. She played the vampire in, I think it's Dusk Till Dawn. When I saw this, I was like, oh, wow. Wow. I liked that movie. It was a fun movie. It really was. And this is the only card that was changed. The lightning replaces the tower. Oops. Sorry about that. Okay, so that was the major arcana. Yeah, I cannot wait to start using this deck. I'm really interested in seeing how it reads for me. And if not, it's a great deck for my collector's pile or shelf. All right, so now we have the cups. And as you can tell, the symbolism that show the different suits is not in the deck, but it does use the artwork to sum up the essence, I guess you could call it, of the card, to give you an illustrated representation. I guess that's a good way to put it. All right. Next is the Pentacles. That is an interesting choice. The Headless Horseman. There are some that I look at and I'm like, first glance, trying to figure out, that's an interesting choice. I don't know if I would have chosen that illustration to represent that. But, you know, the more I work with it and I actually sit down and look over the cards, it might, you know, I might be able to figure it out and understand it a little bit better. I think this is my favorite. I love this one. Okay. And next we have wands. And I'm not sure where you can buy these decks, the different decks that they have. I did look online and some people have resold them, but they've been sold already. But maybe Lo Scarabo Scarabo will eventually have them for sale. They will probably more than likely just have the standard deck. I don't know if they'll have the limited edition. I doubt they'll have the limited edition because they only made so many of that. But they might have the kit. I don't know. But for now, the only people who have it are the ones that did the Kickstarter. Okay, and we finish it out with the silvers. Yeah, that's a nightmare and a half. Okay, that is the deck. And I've already talked about the cards, and yeah, they are on the slippery side. Hopefully they'll change the longer you use them. Okay, so go on to the guidebook. It's a very nice guidebook. They did, like I said, they did a really good job with this deck. There are some Kickstarters where I get it and I'm like, But, alright, so we go on to a preface, a brief history of tarot. Just goes into the history of it. And you can pause and read this at your leisure. And then we go on to chapter 1, an introduction. And basically this goes into talking about Frank's artwork and just kind of tells you about it, and goes on to the beginning, a history of Frank, which is nice, very nice homage to him. Then we go on to how to use the deck, reading techniques and spreads. And basically reading the tarot and preparing for a reading. And these are just suggestions on things you can do. Then we have the spreads. We have a single card draw, 3-card spread, a 5-card spread. And then we have the Celtic cross. Then we move on to chapter 2, which is the major arcana. And you get a nice color picture and the title, and then a little quote. I'm trying to think of a quote from somebody at the bottom. And then we get the image, basically just tells you about what the illustration represents and the meaning. And then the interpretation of upright and reversed with keywords that represent what it is. And pretty much that is the major arcana section. And then we have the 2 extra cards. You're given the same thing. And then we go on to chapter 3, and they've cut these up and separated, not cut, into different chapters. So then we have the Suit of Cups, and of course it's smaller because it is the minor, but you still get a nice color picture, the image, and the only difference is the image is smaller, whereas as you see you get the big image page with the quote. You don't get that, but you still get the image, meanings, and interpretation. So the only thing that's different, which is nice because I really wish that they would not cut the minors. They're still important, but I mean I understand, you know, the majors are of course the big events in your life, and they have more meaning, but they're still important. Just show them some love. Okay, and they do a bigger illustration on the court cards. They don't give you a quote or anything, but they give you the image, meanings, and interpretation. And then we go on to chapter 4, Suit of Pentacles, same thing. Basically that's it for the guidebook. Yeah, not a lot of people will do the color because printing costs have just, with everything else, they're so expensive. So it's always nice when you can get the color card. And then we have the appendix, chapter 7, which has a tarot cheat sheet, which basically gives you a Cliff Notes version with keywords. Get the minor arcana, the major and minor arcana, And in the minor arcana, you're given the elements with the astrological signs that are associated with it, if you choose to use those in your readings. And we have numbers, which is, I think that everybody who does read tarot, it would benefit them to learn numerology. And then we have the court cards, which is always nice. It's got a really good summary of the four court cards. And then we have a conclusion. And I don't know who wrote this, though, because it doesn't say. And that's pretty much it. All right, so shuffling. No right or wrong way, as I always say. And you might have issues with this when you're starting to use this because very slippery. So you can do the rifle shuffle. You can do the overhand shuffle. I'm trying to hold them. You can do the overhand shuffle. You can do the cutting the deck that way and collecting them again. And oh geez, they keep trying to get out of my hand. Fan, you could spread it across, no problem at all doing a fan, or you could just spread them out, but be careful when you spread them out, they may slide off your table or desk. Just be very, very careful. All right, so let's see what card wants to pop up and give us a message. All right, Four of Swords. So we have a poor woman about to get sacrificed by some, I don't know, evil dude. All right, so let's see what the interpretation of the Four of Swords is. Okay. So, the image: before his monstrous congregation, the ruthless priest is ready to exact a sacrifice of blood, but as scales and teeth rise from the darkened waters to reclaim their prize, a lone savior, emerges from the shadows, ready to give his all to defend the helpless woman chained to the altar that may soon become her grave. Meanings associated with the square, emblem of stability and balance, the Four of Swords offers a chance to rest physically and spiritually. Having reaped the fruits of your labor, you should collect your thoughts and prepare for what is coming, free to dispose of your time as you see fit. Interpretation: upright, regeneration, introspection, and sanctuary. After many battles, you can slow down and reflect on your past adventures. Nurture your body and your mind so that you can look forward with renewed strength and confidence. Reversed: restlessness, fatigue, and exhaustion. Even though your body is asking for rest, you are unable to provide it. Be careful. When push comes to shove, you might find yourself in much dire straits. Yeah, I have that problem. Hard to rest. I got monkey mind. And if anybody who knows what monkey mind is, you know what I'm talking about. But yes, if anybody needs to hear that message, please, especially this month. This month is the crazy month, I like to call it. It's the crazy month. People just seem to lose their mind this month for some reason, and they're all stressed out, and they're tired, and they're over caffeinated. But that is all I have for this deck for you. Let me know what you think about it. I'm impressed. I know I'm gushing over this deck, but I'm really impressed at what they did. And it's one of my favorite artists. I really love his stuff. But if you do have the deck, let me know how it's working out for you and pros and cons. Or if you're going to put it on your wish list, you can always check back, Or you can actually email the publishing place and ask them if they're going to put this deck out, because you're really interested. And you can probably Google it. And I will link the Kickstarter page so you can see the different ones that they had for this, because they had the 3 different ones. The standard, like I said, and then this was the kit, and then they had the limited edition. So maybe if somebody's wanting to sell their limited edition, you could score it. I don't know. But I will go ahead and link the Kickstarter page on it so you can check it out. But once again, thank you so much for spending your time with me, and I hope that you will join me with another video. And I will be doing another Kickstarter deck. So if you want to join me for that one, that is the next one I will be doing. I'm not going to say what it is. You just have to wait. But until next time, take care and goodbye, my dears.